All right. What's up, everybody? It's another episode of Dave's R&R with your host, Dave. Today, we're going to be going into round one of the NFL playoffs. The regular season's over. We made it through the 18 weeks, and now it comes time for the playoffs. We're down to the final 14 teams. The Chiefs and Eagles have byes this week for securing the 1 seed, so we've got 6 games this weekend, 2 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, 1 on Monday. So let's jump right into it here. Our first playoff game on Saturday, the Seattle Seahawks, the darling of the season, one of the teams no one thought would be even close to here, is going to division rival San Francisco 49ers at the 4:30 East Coast time slot. The Seahawks, a lot of people thought they were going to go completely downhill this year, have a high draft pick after trading Russ, going with Geno, but Geno Smith has breathed new life into this team, playing better than Russell Wilson arguably has in the past as the Seahawks quarterback the last few years, and definitely better than Russ played in Denver this year. He did not cook at all in Denver. No cooking done at all this year. So the real question is, can Geno keep the season alive against the 49ers? And this is going to be a no for me. The 49ers, even with the rookie quarterback, that's their only one question going into the playoffs this year. They've got Brock Purdy, the rookie quarterback sensation that's taken over since Jimmy G got hurt. He's been playing lights out. They've got amazing offensive weapons. They picked up Christian McCaffrey during the season. They've got Debo, and they've got one of the best defenses in the league. I just don't know if Geno's going to be able to keep this game close. I don't know if the Seattle defense can keep up with what the 49ers can do on offense. The only question is how Purdy's going to perform in the playoffs. If the regular season has any implications, he'll do fine, and especially with a home game here in San Fran. If you're going to bet this one, I'd say San Fran to cover the 10 points is a safer bet. It's very hard when it comes to the NFL playoffs, anything in the NFL, 10's such a high number, but I think the 49ers have such talent that they can run away with this one early. So if I had to pick a side the back right now, I'd say the 49ers minus 10. And then in the primetime slot on Saturday night, we've got the Chargers versus the Jaguars. The Seahawks are the NFC darling this year, and I'd say the Jaguars are 100% the AFC darling of the year. We've been waiting for that breakout year since Trevor Lawrence has joined the league, and this seemed to be it. The Jaguars secured a home game here in Jacksonville. Los Angeles Chargers traveling all the way there. We've got the battle of Justin Herbert versus Trevor Lawrence. It's just about a pick 'em here. The Chargers are 1.5-point favorites. I think the public's going to be super on the Jags this game, and this game scares me across the board. Both teams can be super hot, both teams can be super cold. They're such trendy teams. It could really go either way, and I don't want to be chalk here and bet all favorites. I think you give the Jags a little bit of a lean because they're the home team, but this one is a toss-up as well. I can actually see that end up being a high-scoring game. It's going to be a fun one Saturday night, so we're all going to be tuned in for that. And that leads us into Sunday. The first game of the day is definitely going to be a boring one. We've seen crazier things happen, but it just doesn't seem great on paper. The Miami Dolphins travel to the Buffalo Bills. The Dolphins start the year as the hottest team in the NFL, but have simmered down since Tua's had a bunch of injuries. Tua's not going to be ready for this game, and neither is Teddy. So they're going to be on their third-string quarterback who did not look good at all last week. And I just don't see a path to victory for them against this Bills team who is the Super Bowl favorite. They may be the number 2 right now, but they start the year Super Bowl favorites. They've had such a strong year. Ended the year 13-3. Josh Allen, second best candidate for MVP. Patrick Mahomes just took it away this year. And the spread for this one's 13. It's another one of those games I'm personally going to stay away from on the betting end. But if you're going to bet it, I'd say have the Bills cover that spread because just how bad the Dolphins quarterback situation is, you don't want to be looking at this game like halfway through the second quarter and it's like 21-0. You just think about why you did that to yourself. So it's going to be Bills here and an easy victory against the Dolphins. Our second game on Sunday, I think this is going to be a fun one as well. It's the Giants versus the Vikings. The Giants, another team this year that made a big leap. Danny Dimes has seemed to secure himself as the quarterback going forward. A lot of people have gone back and forth with him since joining the league. And they go against the Vikings, who are 13-4. A lot of people don't believe in the Vikings. They beat the Bills earlier this year. They've had some great wins. They've had some bad losses. And that Vikings team, you just never know what you're going to get. This game, I'm going to steer away from picking a side. I do think the value is there for Giants on the money line plus 140. And I think this is going to be an over I would look at taking. It's at 48, which is kind of higher on NFL terms. But I just don't see either of these teams stopping each other. Defensively, I think the offenses are going to have their way this game. It's going to be a high-scoring, fun game in that slot Sunday afternoon. And then that leads us to Sunday night, where my favorite team, the Ravens, are going to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. The Ravens have had a bad year, kind of to put it nicely. They started the year great, and ever since the Lamar injury, it just hasn't been the same. It's the second year in a row that he's been out with an injury to end the season. Last year, the playoff hopes ended after he got hurt. This year, we did enough to secure a playoff spot before he got hurt, but it's not looking good. It doesn't seem like he's going to play this game, and even the backup Huntley is questionable in this one. The other day at practice, he couldn't even throw with his throwing arm, so they're looking to be a third-string quarterback as well. And if that's the case, you got to take the Bengals wherever the spread's at. It's at 9.5 right now, if you can even get it on a book, because no one has any news yet for today. We're probably going to find out in the next day or two if Lamar is playing or not. They're still swelling at his knee. It's not looking good. This game would be an absolute classic if Lamar played, but it just looks like it's going to be a Bengals victory, and the Bengals will continue to be a dark horse going into the playoffs in the next round. And that leads us to the main event, Monday night, the Cowboys going to the Buccaneers. The Bucs had a dreadful season this year, ending 8-9, and luckily they were in the worst division, the NFC South, with the Falcons, Saints, and Panthers all just putting up terrible records. It's one of those years where the Buccaneers 8-9, and you get a playoff spot. They shouldn't even get a home game if you ask me, but that's just the rules we have. They played terribly. You can say it's bad voodoo because of what happened with Tom Brady. You can blame a bunch of different things, but the Bucs didn't look like the Super Bowl team they were a couple years ago. And the Cowboys, they've kind of been wishy-washy as well. They end the year at 12-5. They were in arguably the toughest division, with the Eagles and Giants being there as well. So they had some stiff competition through the season. And I'm leaning Cowboys this one all the way. It's one of those games where I don't care that's in Tampa Bay. I don't care that Tom Brady has never lost to the Cowboys. All streaks are meant to be broken at some point. It's really going to be if Mike Evans can catch 3 touchdowns again this week. That'll be the only way the Buccaneers can stay in this one. But I really like the Cowboys to break that Tom Brady streak to end the first week of playoff games. And we'll see how everything shapes up after that. But I'm leaning right now 49ers. I'm leaning Jags. I'm leaning Bills. I'm leaning Giants, kind of. I'm leaning Bengals. And I'm leaning Cowboys. I think a lot of home teams are going to win this week, as usual, in the first round. Seems like a lot of people are on the favorites this week, which is kind of scary, but we're going to see how everything plays out. It's not up to me to make the bets for everybody. That's just where my head's at right now. We still have a few days left, and it can flip-flop back and forth because some of these games are going to be pretty close. I think outside the Bills and Dolphins, we have a shot for every team to cover the spread this week. Ravens, Bengals, depending on that news. We'll see where that ends up. But yeah, that's football talk for the week. Hope you enjoyed my preview of the first round of the NFL playoffs. I'll try to have a breakdown each week for the couple weeks of football we have left. It's always a sad time of the year when football is winding down. It's exciting, but sad as well. And hopefully the Super Bowl ends up being better than the NCAA football championship, because, man, that Georgia-TCU game was terrible. TCU won the games to get there, but it clearly didn't look like they were in a league against Georgia. You can argue some other teams may have kept it closer. Ohio State kept it as close as you could get, but I think the Super Bowl will be at least more exciting for that. So let's hope for that going forward. Thank you for listening to Dave's R&R. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Dave's R&R. I've been doing some wrestling reviews lately. Hope y'all have been enjoying kind of the mixed bag of episodes we've had. That's what I've been trying to do here. I'll be doing more reviews on social as we go. And everybody have a great weekend going into the NFL playoffs.